So today, what I'd like to really go over basically is PIM mitigation, the cause and effect. We'll introduce, what causes PIM, what the effects are, how to identify a problem, some of the solutions, as well as some of the new problems. So what is passive intermodulation? This noise or interference basically can deteriorate a network. You'll have loss of signal, you'll have poor performance. And really what causes that is some of the things like loose metal-to-metal connections, things like hose clamps, poor quality in components, such as corrosion of rust, metal shavings or other site contamination that may exist around the area, nearby frequency sources, such as power lines and equipment when placed in front of the antenna or beside it, and as always, obstacles in front of the path. These all can create a PIM problem. These problems, or these what we like to call our high-risk PIM zones, exist really close to the antenna. It's not only in front of the antenna, but it's also above, below, and even behind it. The high-risk PIM zone is really defined as 10 feet directly above or below the antenna, behind the antenna, and in front of the antenna. Standard installation practices will really help to both identify the problem as well as modify the problem and avoid PIM. When we're talking about what this problem really is it is the noise that's out on the site. It's a noise that's up on the antenna. Many traditional installation products that we've had for years and years and years may cause PIM depending on your signals. Metal hangers, hose clamps, corrosion, as well as the connection from metal to metal. If you have a poor metal to metal contact, this can cause PIM. AT&T has identified these issues and put out a field advisory, their CNC mobility standard. This advisory basically describes what PIM mitigation is, how to fix it, and how to resolve it. So let's talk a little bit about the problem. We have a complete line of ecosystem products basically for PIM mitigation, such as composite hangers. These composite hangers will not only minimize, but they basically eliminate the PIM part. We have other cable support brackets that mitigate this. The best way to do this is by looking at your complete ecosystem and then trying to either minimize the number of parts and junctions, looking at the pressure contact between metal to metal, as well as replacing existing metal offending products such as hose clamps or metal hangers that are in that high-risk zone with a polymer hanger. So to look at this, you're really looking at a lot of the major offenders being what's below the antenna and behind the antenna. So whether it's a hanger, a cable support bracket, it's anywhere where you've got the cable management tend to be the largest problem sources, as well as the RRU mount can be there. So let's get into some of these solutions. The first solution is our SnapTack. Our SnapTack is a new polymer hanger that basically gives you a PIM-free cable attachment. It replaces the old metal hangers in the high-risk zones with a polymer hanger that not only is PIM-free, but also is 2 to 3 times faster than a grommet because you don't have multiple connections. And because of the PIM hanger, the SnapTack polymer hangers are sized to allow multiple different cables, they eliminate a lot of the issues with stocking the right connection for the right cable. When you look at these SnapTack PIM-free hangers, you're really looking at different sizes such as 4 to 7 millimeters, 7.1 to 10, 10.1 to 14, and 14.1 to 16, giving you solutions for fiber jumpers, red cables, power cables, as well as jumpers. It's a PIM-free polymer solution that gives you a lower cost than what you would see when you're combining a hanger and a grommet. It reduces your installation time by 2 to 3 times, and it also reduces the amount of SKUs and stocking numbers that you have to do to manage, which helps you mitigate problems on site by not having the right product for the right solution. New to our line is our SnapStack SSH 1416, which is 14 to 16 millimeter. What we've done new to these is we've given you a better product with greater actual strength. We've given you the ability for higher pull-out strength to manage cable dressing. It's got gripper tabs in there for easier removal. These new products are available today through Tally. As well, we've introduced our new line of SnapTack hanger removal tools. These are an easy squeeze pair of pliers that allow you the ability to remove hangers that are in a hard to reach area. Combining hangers together does not always make it easy for removal. Contact Tally to find out more about these. So when you're looking at putting a single hanger or even multiple hangers on a member or pipe, it can be done with our cable or hanger adapters and cable ties. These still comply with our PIM-free composites and give you an easy solution for 1 to 3 cables depending on the size. And there's installation tools available as well. One of the new tools that we brought in is our SA1TR. It's a multifunction adapter. This was a great add-on to our line for SnapTack hangers. It first off gave you the ability to have 360 degrees of rotation between 2 hangers. It allows you to stack and place them, so you can still place them and stack cables, but now you can do it when you have cables that are perpendicular to each other or off parallel. It also gives you the ability to have a 1-inch standoff to meet the spacing that already exists when you're doing a PIM hygiene replacement. That 1-inch standoff will bring you to the same level or position that the cable was in when you remove the metal hanger. And the last feature that this brings you is the fact that it will go on to any 3/8 or 1/2 inch bolt, whether that's a end of a threaded bolt, threaded rod, or a U-bolt. If it is 3/8 or 1/2 inch, it slides up over that and gives you a connection point. This could also be done with all thread to position your cable in the best position. As always, in our PIMGuard line, we still have the block hangers, which are legacy products that have been around forever. These hangers still exist for 7/8, 1/2 inch, 1 1/4, 1 5/8. As well, the same thermoplastic polymer that we have made the hangers out of for over 20 years are the same material that we use to make our SnapTacks. All testing has been done by the recommended IEC standard and meet all the requirements for slippage, compression, side load, and UV life. And if still using a block hangers, we still have the we still have the grommets available for fiber jumpers or trunks or power cables to give you a secure fit. So moving away from the hangers and looking more at the cable brackets, when connecting more than one cable, having multiple cables from a connection, you need to have a support bracket. Introducing to that line is our PIMGuard series of cable support brackets, which give you a PIM-friendly connection by minimizing the amount of connection hardware in there. It has a scalloped front edge that allows you to position the cable hanger out further from the antenna pipe to meet where the antenna location is. There's 3 brackets. We have our CSO8, which is our standard bracket for 8 cables. Into each of those holes, you can also stack multiple hangers. We have our CS23, which is good when using large coax and multi-hex port antennas, giving you 23 connection points. And then we have our CSEB17, which can be connected to the CS08 to make the 23, or used separately in a wall or rooftop tray or any transition. All brackets are made of hot galvanized products and give you a secure connection. Along with that, we need to look at the transition. When we're not only below the antenna or below the radio, we need to be able to transition our cable or jumpers or fiber throughout the mount or down a member. To do this, we have a 6-port adapter available. The 6-port adapter is easy, minimizes the hardware, and still gives you that secure connection that minimizes PIM. As well, all these products can be used with blocks. Plus, we have a new dedicated block hanger, which is our PG RMBH12. The PG RMBH12 allows multiple stacking of blocks onto any member or antenna pipe, round member or antenna pipe. As well, blocks can be used in conjunction with any of our existing PIM guard brackets, as well as our radio brackets. Radio brackets are often forgotten when they're thinking of PIM. Most people just think of cable management. But as we discussed earlier, any noise, any signals that are causing interference can cause a PIM issue. To mitigate that issue, you can utilize our PIM-friendly RRU mounting brackets, such as our fast access or access ready brackets. The fast access bracket gives you the ability to preset your brackets onto the antenna pipe and bring the radios up later. This allows you to have a lighter pick or allows you flexibility in raising the antenna. As always, you have to manage the cable below that, and any of the brackets can be used for that, but one more traditionally used is our ACSD24. New features in the ACSD24 allow the brackets to be mounted to the side or top or bottom. When used together, you get a PIM-friendly solution that can support all your needs behind the antenna. So in conclusion, passive intermodulation has always been around. It really became an issue when we started introducing some of the wideband antennas, such as the UMTS and the LTE. When you're bringing those two signals together, two antennas together, you get interference. Understanding the causes of PIM, understanding the high-risk zone, is critical to the product selection and the installation. Having the ability to have these products on hand, such as Tally, gives you an easy solution that can reduce and eliminate common sources of PIM. It ensures great network performance and provides you with a clean install. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Denny for some questions, and I thank you very much for your time. Mr. Denny, I think you're muted.
Thank you, Dale. We'll go ahead and take some time for questions now. Just as a reminder, please be sure to type your questions into the question box in your control panel. So if you can send any questions in right now, I'll ask Dale to answer them. Looks like nobody has any questions yet, Dale. You must have covered everything on there.
Well, I would like to say that.
Here's the first one. Tony asked, are all the brackets on hand or are they back ordered?
That would be a quick question more for Tally.
Yep. So we have them coming in every day. Some of them we have plenty of stock. Others we have minimal stock. But I can assure you that by the end of the month, we'll have plenty of stock on all of them.
And I would like to say that these are interchangeable. As spikes to demand may cause a product to not be immediately on hand, a lot of the PIM guard brackets can be interchanged. You can use a CSO8 where a 23 is being used in a lot of cases. You could use an ACSD 24. So think about which ones you need. You may be pulling the request for something because you're used to using it, but there are other options as well.
Yep. And another question came in asking if we're going to share the video. As I said earlier, anyone who registered and registered for the call will be getting this this presentation emailed to you. I'm not sure exactly when, but it will be coming. And we're also gonna download it onto our website under www.tallycom.com/webinars. So here's another question, Dale. Have these been tested to run up the tower, and are they able to run up to a 7/8" cable?
As of today, no. We're still using a lot of the metal hangers for those because those aren't the PIM issues. Keep in mind that we have PIM products for 7/8 cables, such as the blocks. So there's still products available for you. But if you're talking about the SnapTacs himself, the largest one that we have is the 16 millimeter. And then transitioning up the tower, if you're looking at trying to support that, you can still utilize our standard hangers.
Very good. So probably just the 7/8, the L5 clicks, right?
Mm-hmm.
David asked, is there a special tool to remove the snap-in hangers?
There is, and I can even go back to that. So this new tool does not have to be used, but it sure makes life easy when you have close connection and close fitting. Let me show you the tool, sorry. So this is the new removal tool. And this is available at Tally. If it hasn't reached you already, it's brand new, but it should be reaching Tally this week. And it makes your life really easy when you're trying to get in there with fingers. Because this is a polymer and not a metal, you're limited on how much room you have sometimes. So this makes your life a lot easier.
Exactly. The next one, I'm not sure. Cost differential between SSH12 and a PIM certified snap-in. We install microwave, but if near to customer RF antenna, may be worth it to be proactive.
Yeah, I would address that one with them after the show, Denny.
Yeah. So I can reach out to you and I can send you a quote for each.
Pricing is definitely better. Your savings is 2 to 3 times depending on how you're doing it. If you're using a grommet, absolutely better. The question is which cable or which helical you're using.
And then another question is, what's the cost of the removal tool? I don't have that information in front of me. I'll have to reach back out with that information as well. That's the last of the question I have here. Looks like we covered all the questions. Is there anything else you want to go over, Dale, before we wrap up?
No, I just want to thank you. And please, if you do have questions, bring them back to Tally. We'll be happy to get with you. If we need any additional training or any additional time spent, we can bring in our product line manager specific for the polymers or as well for the steel products.
Sounds good. Thank you all. It's a pleasure being with you today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.